Stop talking to your friends and family about your manifestation unless they are 100% on board with supporting you. Now, the reason I say this is because most people either don't know and understand the process of manifestation, or they do know and understand it but don't believe in it. So when you tell them that you've got a goal, it's often met with skepticism, logistics, the reclamation of what the circumstances are, their own assumptions and trauma just passed back to you. Now, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say they're doing it because they think it's helpful to remind you of these things, but they're just simply wrong. And when you allow that information to affect your state, to remind you, quote unquote, of the circumstances and how it's impossible, it only harms what you're trying to do. Circumstances do not matter. Despite what your great aunt might say, despite what ChatGPT might say, despite, something that you saw on a Reddit post 4 years ago might say, circumstances do not matter because your consciousness is what creates your experience. Your subconscious mind is the creative power that creates your reality. Now, this creative power may go by many names. To list a few: God, universe, source, vortex, and so on. So if you've heard of any of those terminologies, it's all coming back to the subconscious mind. I like universal subconscious mind personally, but you're welcome to use whatever you like. But the way that it works is your subconscious mind is kind of like the funnel between consciousness and reality. Through consciousness, you dwell in states and stories and assumptions. Men are just simply this way. The market right now is terrible. I'm not good enough for the love that I want. Things like that. Stories, assumptions, and subsequently states of being. Those stories and such are passed on to your subconscious mind, to which it uses to create your reality. Nothing passes through the subconscious mind that you don't allow. And when I say that you don't allow, this could be something in the moment. I'm focusing on XYZ thing directly in front of me, or something like a previous thing that's happened that's created a belief within you. Nonetheless, whatever it is that you're experiencing in one form or another has passed through the subconscious mind and is creating this reality. Now, your subconscious mind, for furthering analogy purposes of explanation, is like the storage worker that works in the back room with no windows and no access to the outside world. It can only go off of what the person in the front of house goes back and tells it. If the person at the front of the store says, we need 1,000 CDs right now, the person in the storage room has no knowledge whether that's true or false. They just have to get on it there and then because that's their job and that's all they know to do. Your subconscious isn't the same. Subconscious is the same. It's not quite literally this way, but for furthering explanation, your subconscious mind sits in the back of your head, basically in a dark little room, doesn't see, hear, feel, touch anything. It's just fed that information by your conscious mind. And it just takes it in and it churns out experiences for you based on it. Because of that factor, if you were to go back to the back room, for want of a better term, and say, yeah, we're in a relationship with our person, and are consistent enough to feed it that story as the dominant story, so it takes it in as truth, it has no choice but to churn that out. So that kind of analogy explanation is a roundabout way of me explaining to you that what you're seeing right now, doesn't matter whether it's your person left, your job search isn't going well, or anything like that, what you are seeing right this moment is a reflection of previous thoughts, feelings, and awareness that have been passed on to the subconscious mind in its little back room, to which it is created. Simplifying, yesterday's thoughts, feelings, and awareness create today's reality, which means today's thoughts, feelings, and awareness will create tomorrow's reality. All of this is to say is that regardless of what is in front of you, it is a reflection of previous states. So by turning away from it and entering new states of having what you desire now, you bring about a new future. Because your subconscious mind doesn't know what's actually out there past what you tell it. So by choosing to turn away, by choosing to create distance, whether that's physical distance or just a sort of mental and emotional distance from what is, and create a physical or a mental or emotional attachment to what you desire to be as though it currently is. And when I say attachment, I don't mean, like the desperate attachment. I mean attachment in a sense of like a link to it, as though it's true. You're feeding your subconscious mind that new story consistently enough to the point where it creates it because that's what it thinks is true. You've gone back and you've said, hey, listen, we need this many CDs, this reality, make it happen. Backroom subconscious mind worker goes, oh shit, that's a big old amount. I'm gonna get on it. And it makes that bridge of incidents. Hopefully you have followed and enjoyed the analogy. But this is to basically explain, and I've tried to simplify it because I've done videos in the past where I've got like the whiteboard out and presentation videos and so on. I've gone into huge depth, and I'll actually link one of them at the end of this video for you to check out further if you wish to. But I'm basically trying to say to you that subconscious mind, being the creative power, is what matters, not reality. Now, the subconscious mind doesn't know what reality is and isn't showing past what you tell it. So if you can separate yourself from reality, at the very least from like a thoughts, feelings, and awareness perspective, and go inward and make a new claim through affirmations, visualizations, the usual process that we recommend on these channels, you will feed it that new story, and regardless of what is, it will make it happen. The other explanation that I like to kind of help describe why things will change is because the subconscious mind, as far as creating reality, has borderline infinite power. Now, if something has borderline infinite power, everything else is borderline infinitely small. The example I like to give is the idea of a cosmic being. Or let's take, for example, the supermassive black hole at the middle of our galaxy. To the supermassive black hole, the Earth and the Sun probably look about the same size because it is so gigantic that it basically dwarfs everything else. So even though you can fit many, many, many an Earth into the Sun, if you were to like pile them all in, to something so massive, they both look the same size, which I think is a really terrifying thought if you think about it. So taking this in your manifestation to something that has borderline infinite creative power, the subconscious mind, everything that you want is infinitely small. So manifesting a full-blown relationship with your person to the subconscious mind is just an easy task as finding a penny on the floor. So taking that into consideration, circumstances now don't seem so scary, do they? When you consider the fact that within your own brain is the capability to change it. And while it may not necessarily be the easiest thing to do consciously, and that's why we got to put the work in and put the effort in and yada, 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 to the actual creative power, it's piece of cake. It's cakewalk. It's child's play. That whatever term you would want to include there to explain just how easy it is. So once you finally unlock that door by feeding the right story to your subconscious mind, it floods in, easy as pie, piece of cake. So like I said, I'm going to put at the end here the I think I'm going to do the whiteboard video of why circumstances don't matter. But hey, who knows? I'll surprise you maybe. Of why circumstances don't matter. And I urge you to check that out for a more in-depth explanation as to why, with a little bit more visual explanation. And by the way, if you want whiteboard videos and PowerPoint videos to come back, please let me know. There's no reason as to why I stopped them, to be honest. I just kind of did. The Academy videos and the exclusive videos and so on have a lot more of that kind of stuff. In fact, every one of my courses is a full presentation video. Every one of my courses even. But if you want those kind of videos back, let me know. I'll have to invest in one of those non-reflecty whiteboards, because that was one of the reasons why I stopped the whiteboard, was because the white light from my ring light would shine, making it a lot more difficult for you guys to see than some other channels that I've seen that have used whiteboards. So if you want them to come back, let me know. I would be more than happy to. But obviously, if there's we need the demand before the supply. Where was I going? Don't know. I think that might be it. Where was I going? Yeah, so if you want the more in-depth version, check out the one that's going to be linked here. This was just kind of like a little, here's a couple of analogies to help your mind around it. Here's why circumstances don't matter. Stop telling your great aunt about what you're trying to do. Stop telling ChatGPT about it, and yada, yada, yada. If you're going to use ChatGPT, I urge you to use it to help you get deeper on your issues that could be stopping you from being in better states of consciousness, as opposed to specifically to manifestation. Because ChatGPT doesn't offer much in the way of manifestation as far as supportive conversation. And I've had a couple of people mention that, ChatGPT says you can't do something and therefore it's freaking them out. And my argument to that is ChatGPT is a program, and with programs there can be agendas. I think that manifestation being one of the most freeing things would go against the agenda of modern day government and so on. But hey, that's a conspiracy theorist for another day. We'll go through that. Maybe I'll do an exclusive video for the members where I just basically list off just how big of a conspiracy theorist I actually am. But yeah, so just if you're going to use ChatGPT, I don't recommend you typing things like, can I manifest my person? But instead, I struggle with thoughts about this with my person. How can I overcome them? How can I look at it differently? What methods could I use to improve this? And so on. Because that will help you do the foundational work, which will naturally help you manifest. But again, tangent for another video. I just hope that helps. But this is why circumstances don't matter, ladies and gentlemen. I do urge you to check out the other video wherever it is, because it was a very good video. Lots of great content and a lot of people really enjoyed it. Drop me a like and a comment if you've enjoyed this one and if you like the analogies. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to click that bell icon. If you need any help from me directly with your situation, helping you find ways to overcome the 3D circumstances and to change it for the better, tailoring advice, routines, and so on to you, I do have phone calls, video calls, and email coaching available. If you want more from me, but not on a one-to-one perspective, I've got the memberships available where you can get over 100 exclusive videos, such as Katie talking about what it was like being manifested, and the full X-Back mini course, and many, many more. Free products, discounts on other products, and on the bigger tier of the membership, me affirming for you for 3 days a month, as well as a 10-minute call with me each month. Or if you would like more in-depth self-study, there is the courses I spoke about, the full Manifest Your SP course, the full self-concept course, and the full Beating Anxiety and Overthinking course. Or if you would like everything that I've just mentioned and more, sign up for the Academy now. It offers tons of value. It's a one-time purchase and you're in for life, which means with all the constant courses, exclusive videos, products, and so on that I will be including and adding, you just simply get it. What do you have to lose? Go check it out. I look forward to working with you and posting your success stories in the future. But for now, live in the end to make tomorrow what you want it to be, but live in the moment to make today as good as it can be. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.